How many times am I gonna have to
They are the same. Fat shaming and skinny shaming is still body shaming. I mean, that's true.
repeat myself? How many fucking times? Skinny shaming and fat shaming are not the same.
Well, not exactly, but there's still a form of body shaming. I mean, it depends on what the skinny shaming is and what the fat shaming is. Usually, I mean, you could literally put this on a spectrum. Usually, skinny shaming comes when somebody is like too skinny and people like belittle them, right? Fat shaming is usually when somebody's too fat and they belittle them. It's very basic shit. Okay. Now, fat people are generally looked at as worse than skinny people, but like look at Eugene Cooney, right? Well, here's what we do know. We know that shaming somebody for the way they look doesn't actually help them change the way that they look. Right? It's not you're not going to you're not going to be able to fix somebody and get them to no longer engage in a potential eating disorder by shaming them. So, like, yeah, somebody that's way too skinny, yeah, it's very similar. It is the same for the most part. Nothing has to be directly analogous, but it's like, yeah, it's very similar. What the fuck? Why am I not logged in? Oh my god.
How many times am I gonna
There
have
we
to
go.
repeat myself? How many fucking times? Skinny shaming and fat shaming are not the same. One is bullying, and the other is discrimination and fat oppression.
What? They're both bullying. What do you mean? How is it discrimination in fact? What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
So, no, they are not the same. Fat shaming has systemic ramifications.
Oh, because she's I've realized what happened. She's fucking dumb. She actually is. She's a stupid person. Okay, so basically, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? So at its core, you have like fat shaming, and then you have skinny shaming, right? Now we already know that bullying people, right? So we know that if you bully somebody, that's not going to cause the outcome to be positive. It's going to be a negative outcome for both of these. Right? Bullying is not going to create a positive outcome whatsoever. It looks like little kisses, like a face giving a kiss. Look at that. All right. That's what we know whatsoever. There are people who are too skinny and it's unhealthy. There are people who are too fat and it's unhealthy. Okay. The difference, though, with this is that fat shaming is because you're too fat and skinny shaming is because you're too skinny. Right? Now, there are generally, when we get to the systemic oppression argument, when it comes to clothing, like, oh, my clothes don't fit. My clothing doesn't fit. When it comes to skinny people, they can just wear baby clothes, I guess. Oh, the seats are too small for my fat ass, where a skinny person is not going to have that issue with the airline. Right? Oh, my medical costs are more expensive. It costs more money because I have diabetes or something. And I guess there aren't as many financial aspects, negative aspects of being too skinny. That's the systemic aspect. The thing is, all of these things are generally somewhat justifiable. Like, it makes sense to, like at an airline. What do you want them to do? Create fucking huge seats just because you're overweight? Like, I'm overweight. And yeah, it sucks, but like, that's your fucking problem. Same thing with healthcare costs. That's your fucking problem. When it comes to clothing, I can understand the frustration of not like having enough available clothing. I totally get it. And the actual issue when it comes to clothing for overweight people or fat girls more than anything else is that they're massively overpriced for no reason and they're really cheap quality. And that is and then what it is like that's taking advantage of a limited availability in store for clothing for fat girls and like jacking up the price so that they can take advantage of them when the shit's just gonna get destroyed. So like you have an argument there, but ultimately like it costs more to support a fat person. Like that's not really a systemic issue. That's just life. It requires more resources. I mean, that would be like if I complained like, oh my God, food's so much more expensive for a fat person. Well, eat less of it. And I know that it's a much deeper thing than that. I know it's a lot deeper than just eat better. Because obviously I'm not doing that. But to sit here and talk about how there's like systemic oppression, I think it's absolute horseshit. It's fucking bullshit. Because it's all really justifiable. And I hate this fucking fat victimhood bullshit. It's annoying.
Fat shaming and weight stigma kill fat people.
What food kills fat people? What are you talking about? Like, you know how weight shaming kills fat people? It makes them stay fat and not have like a positive incentive to lose weight. So sure, but like, okay.
Being bullied for being thin does not have those same ramifications.
It's not the same thing. We're not just talking about bullying somebody for being thinner. Usually fat people get like shit when they're unhealthy or whatnot. So like Okay, all right, I got to go back to this. Okay, so we're gonna have like a bunch of different things. We're gonna say like we're gonna say too skinny on a spectrum, skinny. We'll say normal weight, fat, and then like obese. Okay, we're gonna do it like this because we have to go through this in like an intelligent thing. We're gonna say that like on both of the extremes, these are the unhealthy parts. We're gonna say this is unhealthy, and like this is the unhealthy part. Right? These are the most unhealthy on both sides. Let's say that they're the same level of unhealthiness. Okay. In this sphere of like not being healthy, the skinny shaming and fat shaming isn't going to be like profoundly negatively impactful other than it's going to hurt your feelings, right? In fact, the systemic aspects are going to introduce yourself here and here, because even if you're overweight, like you're fat, you're probably not like unhealthy. So you might be a bit overweight, but you're not unhealthy. So those systemic aspects of like a higher cost of healthcare and the airplane seats not fitting because you're too fat, those aren't going to impact you because you're within a reasonable weight where it won't. Okay, so the systemic things you claim aren't even applicable to anybody outside of the extremes that are already unhealthy. So your argument doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Because those systemic issues are really only for people who are very overweight and are in a very unhealthy category, because that's the reality. If you're this unhealthy where you're getting negatively impacted by systemic aspects, you're too unhealthy. You are unhealthy. The difference is you can't fit in an airplane seat here, whereas this person can fit her or them and 3 of their friends that are also too skinny. Okay, but that's just life. What do you want them to do? Make bigger airline seats? I don't know what you want me to tell you. Buy a second one. They do this in a lot of airlines. You can buy 2, and then if they don't fill the flight up, they give you your money back for one of the tickets. That's just how they operate that. So, yeah, man, like what you're saying is just everybody really, truly, absolutely wants to be a fucking victim nowadays. Everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody looks at something that's wrong with them and they say, "I'm a victim. Look at me." Shut the fuck up. It's annoying. It really is. And I'm not saying that like it's easy to just lose weight. It takes a bit of effort, and I'm right there. But I'm not a fucking victim. Everybody has struggles in their life. I'm performing just fine in life with my own struggles. So shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Yeah, I'm a victim of a small peepee. Okay? I'm a victim of being too sexy. Okay?
So no. For the millionth fucking time, they are not the same.
I've seen this woman too before on TikTok. She's so annoying. It's incredible.
And when you say shit like this, guess what you're doing? You're
speaking the truth.
Invalidating fat people, contributing to the problem, and being a plain old dick.
Good, do that. This makes me want you guys to hate me. Hate me for being fat. This person makes me want you to hate fat people. Shut the fuck up. Okay? I hate fat people. I hate them. I hate fat people. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.